I was standing in the middle of the campus courtyard when I heard it again, loud, careless, and meant for everyone to hear. Bro, look at him, still carrying her bag like a delivery guy. Laughter followed instantly. I didn't turn around. I already knew who it was. Ryan's voice always had that sharp edge, like he enjoyed cutting people open in public. I kept walking, Olivia's books heavy in my hands, pretending I didn't hear anything. She walked beside me, scrolling on her phone like nothing happened. Jason, don't forget I need your notes tonight, she said without even looking at me. I forced a small smile. Yeah, I'll send them. Ryan stepped in front of us, blocking my path, grinning wide. Man, you're too good. I swear if she asks you to breathe for her, you'll do that too. More laughter. I looked at Olivia, just waiting for her to say something, anything. She didn't. She just smirked a little and kept scrolling. Something inside me tightened, but I swallowed it down. Move, I said quietly. Ryan leaned closer, lowering his voice just enough. You know she's using you, right? I met his eyes for a second, then looked away. I don't care. He laughed again. That's the problem, bro. You don't care about yourself. I walked past him, my grip tightening on the books, my chest feeling heavier with every step. We reached the classroom and I placed her bag on the desk before taking my seat beside her. Can you also finish the last assignment for me? She asked, finally looking at me with those calm eyes that always made me forget everything else. I've been busy. I nodded without thinking. Yeah, I'll do it. She smiled slightly, then turned back to her phone. That was it. No thank you. No hesitation. Just expectation. A guy behind us whispered loudly, of course he will. He's her personal assistant. A few people chuckled. I kept my eyes on the desk, pretending to read something that wasn't even there. Inside it burned. Not the words, but how normal it had become. After class, Daniel walked in like he owned the place, confident, expensive watch shining under the lights. He glanced at me, then at Olivia. You ready? He asked her casually. She stood up immediately. Yeah. I frowned. Ready for what? She shrugged. Just going out. Daniel smirked at me. Don't worry, man. I'll take care of her today. You can rest. The way he said it made everyone laugh again. I felt my jaw tighten. She doesn't need you to take care of her, I said, my voice low but steady. Daniel stepped closer, towering over me slightly. And she doesn't need you either, but here you are. Silence hit for a second, then the room filled with quiet snickers. Olivia didn't defend me. She just adjusted her hair and said, Jason, I'll call you later if I need anything. Need anything. That was all I was. Later that evening, I sat alone in the library finishing her assignment while messages from her kept popping up. Don't forget to send it. Make sure it's neat. And do the references properly. I typed back, yeah, I've got it. My fingers moved automatically, but my mind kept replaying everything from earlier. Ryan's laughter. Daniel's words. Olivia's silence. Marcus dropped into the chair across from me, watching me for a moment before speaking. You're still doing her work? I didn't look up. It's not a big deal. He leaned forward, his voice serious. It is a big deal. You're letting them walk all over you. I exhaled slowly. She just needs help. He shook his head. No, she knows you won't say no. That's different. I finally looked at him. So what do you want me to do? Just stop. He didn't answer right away. I want you to respect yourself. I laughed quietly, but it didn't feel like a joke. Respect doesn't get you close to people like her. Marcus frowned. And this does. I didn't respond. I couldn't. Because deep down I knew he was right. I just didn't want to admit it. My phone buzzed again. Olivia. Send it now. I hit send without thinking. Marcus watched me, disappointed but silent. One day, he said softly, you're going to regret this. I forced a smile. Maybe, but not today. The next day was worse. Much worse. It started small, whispers, looks, the usual, but it built up quickly. By lunch, a group had gathered near the cafeteria, and somehow I ended up right in the center of it. Ryan clapped his hands, grinning like he had been waiting for this moment. All right, let's settle this today. Jason, tell us, why do you do everything for her? I shrugged. Because I want to. He laughed loudly. No, be honest. Are you hoping she'll fall in love with you or something? A few people leaned in, waiting. I could feel every eye on me. My throat felt dry, but I kept my voice steady. That's none of your business. Daniel stepped forward, slipping an arm casually around Olivia's shoulder. It kind of is, when it's this embarrassing. The crowd chuckled again. I looked at her. Say something. For a second I thought she might. But then she laughed. Not loud, not forced, just enough to fit in with everyone else. And that was it. That small laugh hit harder than anything they said. Ryan shook his head dramatically. Bro, even she's laughing. You're really down bad. More laughter. I felt something inside me go completely quiet. No anger. No sadness. Just empty. I looked at Olivia one last time. Do you think this is funny? She hesitated for half a second, then said, Jason, don't make it a big deal. I nodded slowly. Right, not a big deal. The crowd started dispersing, still laughing, still whispering. I stood there for a moment, then turned away, walking off without saying another word. For the first time, I didn't feel like proving anything. I just felt tired, like I had been playing a role everyone enjoyed except me. The music was loud, but not loud enough to drown the feeling in my chest as I stepped into the party. Lights flashed across faces, laughter echoed, and for a moment, I almost turned back. I didn't belong here. Not anymore. Still, I forced myself forward, scanning the room until I saw her. Olivia stood near the bar, dressed like she owned the night, smiling in a way I used to think was meant only for me. Ryan was beside her, leaning in, laughing like always. I moved closer without thinking, stopping just behind a group of people when I heard my name. Jason. Ryan chuckled. That guy still follows you around like a shadow. Olivia didn't answer right away. She took a sip from her drink, then spoke casually like it meant nothing. He's useful. My chest tightened. Ryan raised an eyebrow. Useful? She shrugged. Yeah. Rides, assignments, money, whatever I need. He just does it. They both laughed, and it hit harder than anything before. I stayed still, hidden, listening even though every word felt like it was tearing something inside me apart. Ryan leaned closer. So you actually like him or what? Olivia shook her head without hesitation. No. I never did. The words landed heavy. Cling. Final. Then why keep him around? Ryan asked. Olivia smiled faintly. Because he's easy. He doesn't question anything. Guys like that are rare. Ryan laughed again. More like pathetic. Olivia didn't disagree. I stepped forward before I could stop myself. Say that again. My voice cut through the noise, and both of them turned, surprise flashing across their faces for a split second before it turned into something else, amusement. Ryan smirked. Oh, look who's here. Olivia crossed her arms, calm as ever. Jason, you shouldn't sneak up on people like that. I looked straight at her. Answer him. Did you mean that? She tilted her head slightly, studying me like I was overreacting. You're making this awkward. I let out a quiet laugh, but there was nothing funny about it. Awkward. You just said you never cared about me. Ryan stepped in, enjoying every second. Bro, relax. You heard her. Why act surprised? I ignored him, my eyes locked on Olivia. Just tell me the truth. She sighed like this was an inconvenience. Fine. You want honesty? I never loved you. Silence hit even with the music still playing. My hands clenched. So everything was fake? She shrugged again. Not fake. Just convenient. Ryan let out a low whistle. Damn, that's cold. I felt my throat tighten. And all those times, everything I did for you? She didn't even hesitate. You chose to do that. The words felt heavier than anything before. I took a step closer. You knew how I felt. She met my gaze, completely unfazed. And you knew I never said I felt the same. I froze for a second. She wasn't wrong. But it didn't make it hurt any less. Daniel appeared beside her then, placing a hand casually on her shoulder. What's going on here? Ryan smirked. Just a reality check. Daniel looked at me, then at Olivia, already understanding. A slow smile spread across his face. Ah, so this is him. I clenched my jaw. Stay out of this. He laughed softly. What? This is entertaining. Olivia didn't move away from him. That alone said everything. Daniel leaned closer, his voice low but clear. You really thought you had a chance? I stepped forward, my chest tight with something I couldn't even name anymore. At least I was there for her. He chuckled. Being useful isn't the same as being wanted. Ryan laughed again, louder this time. Man, this is brutal. I looked at Olivia one last time. Is this what you wanted? She hesitated for half a second, then said, I wanted something better. The words settled in and something inside me finally cracked. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just quietly breaking apart. I shook my head slowly. You could have just told me. She looked away. You wouldn't have listened. I exhaled, a hollow sound. Maybe not. But at least I wouldn't have looked like this. Ryan clapped his hands once. All right, that's enough drama. You got your answer, man. Now what? I didn't respond. There was nothing left to say. Daniel gave me one last look, amused. Next time, try having some self-respect. That one hit differently. Not because of him, but because deep down I knew he wasn't completely wrong. I turned away without another word, pushing through the crowd, the music louder now but still not enough to block out everything echoing in my head. Her voice. His laugh. Ryan's words. Pathetic. Useful. Easy. Each step felt heavier, but I kept moving until I was outside, the cool air hitting my face. I stood there for a moment, breathing, trying to steady something that refused to settle. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I almost ignored it, but something made me look. Marcus. I answered after a second. Yeah. His voice came through calm but firm. Where are you? I let out a quiet breath. Outside. Doesn't matter. There was a pause. It matters. You sound different. I leaned against the wall, staring at nothing. I just heard the truth. He didn't ask what truth. He already knew. And? I closed my eyes for a second. And I think I finally understand. Another pause, longer this time. Good, he said. Because it's about time you stop pretending. I frowned slightly. Pretending what? His voice sharpened just enough. Pretending you're okay with being treated like nothing. I didn't respond. I couldn't. He continued, quieter now. You've been hiding behind that for too long. I swallowed, my grip tightening on the phone. So what now? Marcus didn't hesitate. Now, you decide who you really are. The line went silent for a second before he added, but whatever you do, don't go back to being that guy. I looked back toward the party, the noise still spilling out, but it felt distant now, like it belonged to someone else's life. I won't, I said quietly, and for the first time, I meant it. I didn't go back inside after that call. I just stood there, staring at the lights, letting everything settle into something cold and clear. My phone was still in my hand when Marcus spoke again. You're quiet. I exhaled slowly. I heard everything. He didn't ask what everything meant. And now, I leaned my head back against the wall. Now I see it. Pause. See what? I closed my eyes for a second. That I let it happen. Marcus didn't soften his tone. Yeah, you did. I let out a short breath. You don't have to say it like that. He replied immediately, I do. Because if I don't, you'll keep lying to yourself. I didn't argue. I couldn't. So what are you going to do? He asked. I looked down at my hand, tightening around the phone. I'm not going back to that. Good, Marcus said. Then stop acting like you're powerless. I hesitated. It's not that simple. He laughed quietly. It is. You've just been pretending it isn't. I stayed silent for a moment, then said, there's something I never told anyone. He didn't sound surprised. I figured. I took a breath. I'm not who they think I am. Marcus didn't interrupt. My name, what people know, it's only part of it. Go on, he said calmly. I glanced toward the street, making sure no one was close. Carter Global? I said. You've heard of it. He scoffed. Everyone has. I swallowed. It's mine. Or, it will be. Silence. Then, what? I pushed off the wall, pacing slowly. My father owns it. He made me live like this. No money, no status, no help. He said if I couldn't stand on my own, I didn't deserve it. Marcus let out a low whistle. And you just went along with that? I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. I thought it would make me stronger. He didn't respond right away. Did it? I looked back at the party doors. I don't know. Then I corrected myself. Actually, I do. It showed me exactly who people are when you have nothing. Marcus spoke again, quieter now. So Olivia? I cut him off. She liked the version of me she could use. He didn't argue. And Ryan, Daniel, all of them, I continued. They saw what I showed them. Nothing more. Marcus let out a breath. So what now? You going to drop the truth on them? I shook my head instinctively. No, he repeated. After everything? I smiled faintly, but there was no humor in it. If I walk in there right now and say who I am, what happens? He thought for a second. They panic. They apologize. They pretend they didn't mean it. Exactly, I said. And I don't want fake regret. He went quiet. I continued, I don't want a scene. I don't want revenge like that. Then what do you want? Marcus asked. I looked ahead, my voice steady now. I want control. Another pause. Explain. I tighten my grip on the phone. I want to build something real. I want to stand where they can't reach me. Not because I told them who I am, but because I became someone they can't ignore. Marcus chuckled softly. That sounds like revenge to me. I shook my head. No. Revenge is loud. This is quiet. He didn't interrupt this time. I'm done chasing people who don't value me, I said. I'm done being convenient. So you're finally choosing yourself, Marcus replied. Yeah, I said. I am. He exhaled slowly. About time. I leaned against the wall again, but this time it felt different. Lighter. Clear. You know what's funny? I said. All this time, I had everything I needed to change my life. I just didn't use it. Marcus didn't hesitate. Because you were too busy trying to be someone else for someone who didn't care. I smiled slightly. Yeah, that sounds about right. We stayed on the call for a while, but the silence wasn't heavy anymore. It felt settled. So what's the plan? Marcus finally asked. I pushed myself upright, my voice steady. First, I stopped disappearing into the background. Good start, he said. Second, I go back to my father. You haven't talked to him in a while, right? I nodded. Not since I left. Marcus whistled softly. That's going to be a conversation. I let out a breath. I know. And after that, he asked. I looked up at the night sky, the noise from the party fading behind me. After that, I take my place. Marcus didn't joke this time. You're serious. I've never been more serious, I said. He paused, then added, and Olivia? I didn't hesitate. She made her choice. And if she comes back? He asked. I shook my head. She won't come back for me. She'll come back for what I have. Marcus was quiet for a second. And that changes things. It changes everything, I said. Because now, I know the difference. I took a step forward, away from the building, away from the noise, away from everything that version of me stood for. You sound different, Marcus said. I am different, I replied. He laughed quietly. Good. I was getting tired of that other guy. I smirked slightly. So was I. He went silent for a moment, then said, Call me when you talk to your father. I will, I said. The line ended and I slipped my phone into my pocket. I didn't look back this time. Not at the party. Not at the people inside. Not at her. There was nothing left there for me. For the first time in a long time, I wasn't thinking about what I lost. I was thinking about what I had been ignoring. I walked down the empty path, my steps steady, my mind clear. No anger. No need to prove anything. Just a decision. Quiet. Firm. Final. I wasn't going to be the guy they laughed at anymore. I wasn't going to be the easy choice. I wasn't going to wait for someone else to see my worth. I already knew it. And that changed everything. I saw Olivia the next morning near the same courtyard where everything had started, but this time, something inside me didn't move the way it used to. Jason, you're late, Olivia said, not even looking up from Olivia's phone. I need the notes from last night. I kept walking until I stood right in front of Olivia. No, Olivia finally looked up, confused. What? I kept my voice steady. No, Olivia frowned. Stop joking. Just send the notes. I shook my head. Jason Carter isn't doing that anymore. Olivia blinked like Olivia didn't understand what was happening. What do you mean not doing that anymore? I stepped back slightly. Exactly what it sounds like. Olivia let out a short laugh, but it didn't carry the same confidence as before. Jason, don't start acting weird. Just send them. I met Olivia's eyes without hesitation. No, silence stretched for a moment. Why are you doing this? Olivia asked, irritation creeping in. I didn't answer right away. Because Jason Carter finally realized something. Olivia crossed Olivia's arms. And what's that? I exhaled slowly. That Olivia Brooks never deserved that version of Jason Carter. Olivia's expression shifted, not hurt, not regret, just annoyed. Wow. So now Jason Carter thinks Jason Carter is too good for me? I shook my head. No. Jason Carter just stopped being easy. Olivia scoffed. This is stupid. I nodded once. Yeah, it was. Ryan showed up right on time like always, that same smirk already on Ryan's face. What's going on? Ryan asked, looking between us. Olivia pointed at me. Jason Carter is acting like Jason Carter lost Jason Carter's mind. Ryan laughed lightly. Finally snapped, huh? I looked at Ryan calmly. No. Just done. Ryan stepped closer, lowering Ryan's voice slightly. Done with what? I didn't flinch. Done being convenient. Ryan tilted Ryan's head, studying me like Ryan was trying to figure something out. This some kind of act? I shook my head. No act. Ryan chuckled. Come on, man. Don't ruin a good thing. Olivia Brooks needs help, and Jason Carter's good at that. I smiled faintly. That's the problem. Ryan's smile faded a little. What's that supposed to mean? I held Ryan's gaze. It means Jason Carter isn't playing that role anymore. Ryan tried to laugh it off. So what, Jason Carter's going to grow a backbone now? I didn't react. Already did. Ryan's expression hardened for a second. You think this changes anything? I shrugged. It changes everything for Jason Carter. Ryan leaned in slightly. You're making a mistake. I shook my head. No. Jason Carter was making a mistake before. Ryan stared at me, searching for something, maybe weakness, maybe hesitation. There was none. After a moment, Ryan stepped back, shaking Ryan's head. This won't last. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. Daniel walked over a few minutes later, confident as always, like nothing in the world could touch Daniel. What's the tension? Daniel asked casually, glancing at Olivia. Olivia sighed. Jason Carter decided to start acting different. Daniel looked at me amused. Different how? I met Daniel's eyes. Jason Carter stopped doing favors. Daniel smirked. That's it. I nodded. That's enough. Daniel laughed quietly. You really think that matters? I didn't react. It matters to Jason Carter. Daniel shook Daniel's head, still smiling. You're still the same guy. I stepped a little closer, my voice calm. No. Jason Carter just stopped showing that version. Daniel's smile faded just a little, not much, but enough. Careful, Daniel said. Confidence without status doesn't last. I held Daniel's gaze. Good thing Jason Carter doesn't need to prove anything anymore. Daniel studied me for a second, then laughed again, brushing it off. We'll see how long this attitude lasts. I nodded. You will. Olivia looked between us, clearly irritated now. Can we stop this? It's embarrassing. I looked at Olivia one last time. It was always embarrassing. Jason Carter just didn't see it before. Then I turned and walked away, not waiting for a response this time. Marcus was waiting near the edge of campus, leaning against a car that didn't match the place at all. Clean, sharp, expensive without trying too hard. Took you long enough, Marcus said as I approached. I smirked slightly. Had to finish something. Marcus looked at me carefully. You look different. I nodded. I am different. Marcus pushed off the car. Good. Because this is where it starts. I glanced at the car, then back at Marcus. So this is it? Marcus smiled. This is the first step. I took a breath, feeling something shift inside me again, stronger this time. No more hiding? Marcus shook Marcus's head. No more hiding. I nodded slowly. All right. Marcus opened the car door. Then get in, Jason Carter. I paused for a second, looking back at the campus, at everything I used to be tied to. Jason Carter's done with that place, I said quietly. Marcus nodded. I know. I got in without another word. The door closed, and as the car started moving, I felt it, clear, steady, undeniable. This wasn't about proving anyone wrong. This was about becoming someone they couldn't ignore. I noticed the change before anyone said it out loud. Olivia walked into class late, dropping Olivia Brooks' bag on the desk with a frustrated sigh. Jason, did you finish the report? Olivia Brooks asked without looking up. I didn't even turn my head. No, silence followed, heavier than before. What do you mean no? Olivia Brooks snapped, finally looking at me. I kept my voice calm. Exactly that. Olivia Brooks stared like Olivia Brooks was waiting for me to correct myself. Jason, stop playing games. I need that report. I leaned back slightly. Then Olivia Brooks should have done it. Olivia Brooks blinked, clearly not expecting that. I don't have time for this. I shrugged. Neither do I. The tension stayed in the air, and for the first time I saw something different in Olivia Brooks' expression. Not control, not confidence, pressure. Later that day, I overheard Olivia Brooks talking near the hallway. I missed the deadline because of him, Olivia Brooks said sharply. Ryan frowned. Because of Jason Carter? Olivia Brooks crossed Olivia Brooks' arms. He just stopped helping. Out of nowhere. Ryan shook Ryan's head. That's weird. Jason Carter never says no. Olivia Brooks looked irritated. Well, now Jason Carter does. Ryan exhaled slowly. Then you need to fix that. Olivia Brooks looked away. I tried. Jason Carter's acting different. Ryan smirked slightly. Everyone breaks eventually. Just wait. But I didn't break. Not this time. Ryan approached me the next day, that same confident tone still there, but something behind it felt weaker. Jason, quick favor, Ryan said casually. I looked at Ryan without expression. No, Ryan paused. You didn't even hear it. I kept my tone even. Doesn't matter. Ryan laughed, trying to keep control. Come on, man. It's nothing big. I shook my head. Find someone else. Ryan's smile faded slightly. Since when do you talk like this? I leaned forward just enough. Since Jason Carter stopped being useful to people who don't respect Jason Carter. Ryan studied me, clearly trying to read something. This attitude won't help you. I nodded once. It already has. Ryan scoffed. You think you're better now? I didn't react. I think Jason Carter finally understands. Ryan's jaw tightened for a moment. You're going to regret this. I met Ryan's eyes calmly. No. Jason Carter regrets everything before this. Ryan didn't have a response this time. Ryan just shook Ryan's head and walked away, and for the first time, it wasn't me being left behind. Daniel didn't notice at first. Daniel still carried that same confidence, that same belief that everything would go Daniel's way. But I was already moving pieces quietly. When I heard about Daniel's deal, I didn't react outwardly. I just made a call. Delay the approval, I said calmly. The voice on the other end didn't question it. Understood. I hung up and leaned back, watching everything unfold without being seen. A few days later, I saw Daniel again near the campus entrance, frustration clear on Daniel's face. This doesn't make sense, Daniel muttered, pacing slightly. Olivia Brooks stood nearby, worried now. What happened? Daniel ran a hand through Daniel's hair. The deal got blocked. Last minute. Ryan frowned. By who? Daniel shook Daniel's head. I don't know. I stood a few steps away, unnoticed, listening. Olivia Brooks looked stressed. You said everything was confirmed. Daniel snapped slightly. It was. Ryan crossed Ryan's arms. Then someone interfered. Daniel clenched Daniel's jaw. I'll figure it out. I turned away before they could notice me, a small, quiet sense of control settling in. No confrontation. No drama. Just results. Emily met me later that evening, sitting across from me with a curious expression. Jason, something's different, Emily said. I smiled slightly. You keep saying that. Emily leaned forward. No, really. It's not just how you talk. It's everything. I looked at Emily for a moment. Do you think it's a bad thing? Emily shook Emily's head immediately. No. It's just new. I nodded slowly. Good. Emily studied me carefully. You're not angry anymore. I thought about it for a second. No. I'm not. Emily frowned slightly. Then what are you? I met Emily's gaze. Focused. Emily smiled faintly. That sounds dangerous. I let out a quiet breath. Only for the right people. Emily leaned back, clearly trying to understand. So what's the plan? I didn't give details. I didn't need to. Jason Carter is just moving forward. Emily nodded slowly. And leaving everything else behind? I shook my head. Not leaving it. Just not carrying it anymore. Emily watched me in silence for a moment, then smiled again, this time more certain. I like this version of Jason Carter. I stood up, grabbing my things. So do I. As I walked away, I didn't feel rushed, didn't feel pressured. Everything was shifting slowly but surely. Not because I forced it, but because I stopped holding it together for everyone else. I didn't announce anything. I didn't need to. The change started showing in small ways, the kind people couldn't explain but couldn't ignore either. Professor Wright stopped me after class, something that had never happened before. Jason, stay for a moment, Professor Wright said, voice more respectful than usual. I turned back calm. Yes. Professor Wright adjusted the papers slightly. That proposal you submitted, where did you learn to think like that? I shrugged lightly. Just paying attention. Professor Wright studied me carefully. It's not just attention. That level of structure, it's executive thinking. I didn't respond. I didn't need to confirm anything. If you're interested, Professor Wright continued, there are opportunities, higher level ones. I gave a small nod. I'll consider it. As I walked out, I could feel the difference. People noticed. Not because I told them anything, but because I stopped hiding it. Olivia caught up to me outside, moving faster than usual. Jason, wait, Olivia Brooks called. I stopped, turning slightly. Olivia Brooks smiled, softer than before. You've been distant lately. I looked at Olivia Brooks calmly. That's new. Olivia Brooks hesitated, then laughed lightly. You know what I mean. I didn't answer. Olivia Brooks stepped closer. I just wanted to check on you. I held Olivia Brooks' gaze for a second. Why? Olivia Brooks blinked. Because I care. I almost smiled, but there was no warmth in it. That's interesting. Olivia Brooks frowned slightly. What's that supposed to mean? I kept my tone even. It means Olivia Brooks didn't care when it mattered. Olivia Brooks' expression tightened for a moment before softening again. That's not fair. I tilted my head slightly. Fair? Olivia Brooks exhaled. Jason, things were complicated. I shook my head. No. They were simple. Olivia Brooks just made a choice. Olivia Brooks looked at me, searching for something. Can we just start over? I didn't hesitate. No, silence followed. Why not? Olivia Brooks asked quietly. I met Olivia Brooks' eyes without emotion. Because I'm not the same person Olivia Brooks left behind. Olivia Brooks' lips parted slightly, but no words came out. I stepped back. Take care of yourself. Then I walked away, leaving Olivia Brooks standing there, confusion replacing confidence. Ryan didn't approach me the same way anymore. The confidence was still there, but now there was something behind it. Caution. Jason, Ryan said one afternoon, leaning against the wall as I passed. I stopped, waiting. What's going on with you? Ryan asked, watching closely. I shrugged. Nothing. Ryan smirked slightly. Yeah, right. People don't just change like this. I didn't react. Maybe Ryan just didn't notice before. Ryan narrowed Ryan's eyes. Notice what? I held Ryan's gaze. That Jason Carter was never what Ryan thought. Ryan laughed softly, but it wasn't as natural as before. You're acting like you've got something to hide. I tilted my head slightly. Or maybe something to show. Ryan's expression shifted just for a second. What does that mean? I stepped past Ryan. You'll figure it out. Ryan turned slightly, watching me leave. Jason, Ryan called out, voice sharper now. I paused but didn't turn. This won't end well. I answered without looking back. It already ended. Ryan just didn't realize it yet. Daniel felt it too, even if Daniel didn't say it directly. I saw it in the way Daniel looked at me now. Less amusement, more calculation. You've been busy, Daniel Brooks said when Daniel crossed my path near the campus entrance. I stopped, meeting Daniel's eyes. Not really. Daniel smirked slightly. Funny. Because things around me have been getting complicated. I didn't respond. Daniel stepped closer. Deals don't fall apart for no reason. I held Daniel's gaze calmly. Then maybe Daniel Brooks should look closer. Daniel studied me, trying to read something deeper. You think you're involved? Daniel asked quietly. I shrugged. I didn't say that. Daniel's smile faded slightly. But you're not denying it either. I leaned in just enough, my voice calm. Some things don't need to be said. Daniel didn't respond right away. The silence stretched between us. Careful, Daniel finally said. You might be stepping into something bigger than you understand. I straightened slightly. Or maybe Daniel Brooks is finally stepping into something Jason Carter understands better. Daniel's jaw tightened for a moment, but the smile came back quickly. We'll see. I nodded once. We will. By the end of the week, the shift wasn't subtle anymore. It was there, in the way people spoke to me, in the way they watched me, in the way they hesitated before making assumptions. I didn't change everything overnight. I didn't need to. I just stopped being the version of me they were comfortable with. Emily noticed it first, sitting across from me again with that same curious look. Jason, people are talking, Emily Carter said. I raised an eyebrow slightly. About what? Emily Carter smiled faintly. About Jason Carter. I leaned back. That's new. Emily Carter shook Emily Carter head. Not like this. It's different. I looked at Emily Carter. Good. Emily Carter studied me for a moment. You're not even trying to explain anything. I smiled slightly. I don't have to. Emily Carter laughed softly. That's what's making everyone nervous. I stood up, grabbing my things. Then maybe they should be. Emily Carter watched me for a second, then nodded slowly. Yeah, maybe they should. I walked away again, the same steady pace, the same calm control. No rush. No noise. Just a quiet shift that no one could stop anymore. The moment everything started collapsing wasn't loud at first. It was quiet, controlled, just like everything I had been doing. Ryan was the first crack. I didn't have to expose anything directly. I just let the truth reach the right people. By the time I walked into campus that morning, the whispers had already started. Did you hear about Ryan? Someone said nearby. I kept walking, calm, steady. Ryan spotted me almost immediately, rushing over with tension all over Ryan's face. Jason, what did you do? Ryan demanded. I looked at Ryan without reacting. Nothing. Ryan shook Ryan's head quickly. Don't lie. Someone leaked everything, messages, deals, all of it. I tilted my head slightly. Sounds like Ryan's problem. Ryan stepped closer, voice dropping. You set me up. I met Ryan's eyes calmly. No. Ryan set Ryan up. Ryan froze for a second, then scoffed. You think this is funny? I didn't smile. No. I think it's predictable. People were watching now, whispers growing louder. Ryan looked around, realizing the attention. You're going to regret this, Ryan said, but the confidence was gone. I shook my head slowly. Jason Carter already told Ryan, the regret was before. Ryan didn't respond this time. Ryan just stepped back, the weight of everything finally catching up. Olivia came next, but Olivia didn't come angry. Olivia came desperate. Jason, we need to talk, Olivia Brooks said, catching up to me near the same courtyard where everything had begun. I stopped but didn't turn fully. About what? Olivia Brooks hesitated, then spoke softly. Things got out of control. I faced Olivia Brooks, now calm. They were always out of control. Olivia Brooks just didn't notice. Olivia Brooks shook Olivia Brooks' head quickly. No, that's not what I mean. People are saying things about me, about what happened. I crossed my arms slightly. Things like. Olivia Brooks looked down for a moment, then back up. That Olivia Brooks used Jason Carter. I didn't respond. Olivia Brooks stepped closer. That's not true. I held Olivia Brooks' gaze. Then what is true? Olivia Brooks struggled for a second. I cared. I let out a quiet breath. When? Olivia Brooks opened Olivia Brooks' mouth but couldn't answer. Silence said more than words ever could. Jason, please, Olivia Brooks continued, voice softer now. Can we fix this? I shook my head slowly. There's nothing to fix. Olivia Brooks looked hurt now, but it didn't move me. I didn't realize, Olivia Brooks started. I cut it off calmly. Exactly. Olivia Brooks' eyes filled with something close to regret. I made a mistake. I nodded once. Yes. Olivia Brooks did. Olivia Brooks stepped forward again. Give me another chance. I didn't hesitate. No, Olivia Brooks froze. Why? I met Olivia Brooks' eyes, steady and clear. Because Olivia Brooks didn't lose Jason Carter by accident. Olivia Brooks chose to. Olivia Brooks had no response this time. I turned and walked away, leaving Olivia Brooks standing there with nothing left to say. Daniel tried to hold Daniel's ground longer than the others. But even Daniel couldn't ignore what was happening. You've been busy, Daniel Brooks said when Daniel finally approached me, tone sharper than before. I stopped, facing Daniel directly. Not really. Daniel smirked, but it didn't reach Daniel's eyes. Ryan is finished. Olivia is losing credibility. And suddenly, everything around me starts falling apart. I didn't respond. Daniel stepped closer. You expect me to believe that's a coincidence? I tilted my head slightly. Do you? Daniel's jaw tightened. You think you're in control? I held Daniel's gaze calmly. No. I know I am. That hit. Daniel's expression shifted just slightly. You're playing a dangerous game, Daniel said. I stepped closer, matching Daniel's tone without raising my voice. Daniel Brooks was playing games. Jason Carter is just ending them. Daniel scoffed. You don't have the reach to do this. I didn't react. That's what Daniel Brooks thought. Daniel studied me carefully now, the arrogance finally cracking. Who are you? Daniel asked quietly. I smiled faintly, but there was no warmth in it. Someone Daniel Brooks should have respected from the start. Silence stretched between us. Daniel stepped back slowly, the confidence gone. This isn't over, Daniel said, but it sounded weaker now. I nodded once. It already is. By the end of the day, everything was out in the open. Ryan avoided everyone. Olivia couldn't meet anyone's eyes. Daniel was trying to hold on to something that was already slipping away. And me? I wasn't angry. I wasn't loud. I wasn't proving anything. I was just there, steady, untouched by the chaos that used to control me. Emily found me sitting alone later, watching everything from a distance. Jason, this is insane, Emily Carter said, sitting down across from me. I looked at Emily Carter calmly. No. It's simple. Emily Carter shook Emily Carter's head. They're all falling apart. I nodded. Because they were built on the wrong things. Emily Carter studied me for a moment. They're starting to realize what they lost. I let out a quiet breath. That's not my problem anymore. Emily Carter smiled slightly. You've changed. I met Emily Carter gaze. No. Jason Carter just stopped pretending. Emily Carter leaned back, still watching me. Do you feel bad? I thought about it for a second, then shook my head. No, Emily Carter nodded slowly. Good. Because they didn't feel bad when it was you. I stood up, looking out at everything one last time. They had their chance. Emily Carter stood with me. And now? I started walking forward, my voice calm, final. Now they deal with the choices they made. The day everything became public didn't feel dramatic to me. It felt quiet, almost expected. I was standing in the main hall when Marcus Reed walked in, his presence alone enough to shift attention. Conversation slowed, then stopped completely. Jason, Marcus Reed called, voice clear and steady. I turned slightly, calm as always. People were already watching, confused about why someone like Marcus Reed was addressing me. Marcus Reed stepped closer and gave a small nod. It's time. I didn't hesitate. I know. That was all it took. The room shifted. Phones came out. Whispers grew louder. What's going on? Someone asked. Marcus Reed looked around briefly, then spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. Jason Carter is the rightful heir of Carter Global. Silence hit instantly. It wasn't disbelief, it was shock freezing people in place. I could see it on every face, the same people who laughed, who mocked, who dismissed me. Now they couldn't even speak. Ryan was the first to react, stepping forward slowly like Ryan wasn't sure if it was real. No, that's not possible, Ryan said, voice unsteady. I looked at Ryan without emotion. It is. Ryan shook Ryan's head quickly. You're joking. I didn't respond. I didn't need to. The truth was already louder than anything I could say. Jason. I didn't know, Ryan continued, stepping closer. If Ryan knew, things would have been different. I tilted my head slightly. No, they wouldn't. Ryan froze. I didn't mean what Ryan said before. I met Ryan's eyes calmly. Ryan meant every word. Ryan's voice dropped. Jason, I'm sorry. I nodded once. I know. That confused Ryan more than anything. Then, can we fix it? I shook my head. There's nothing to fix. Ryan stepped back slowly, realization finally hitting. This wasn't anger. This wasn't revenge. This was something Ryan couldn't control anymore. Olivia didn't move at first. Olivia Brooks just stood there, staring like Olivia Brooks was trying to process everything at once. Then Olivia Brooks walked toward me, faster than before, eyes already filled with emotion. Jason, please, Olivia Brooks said, stopping right in front of me. I stayed calm. What is it? Olivia Brooks shook Olivia Brooks' head slightly. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know. I looked at Olivia Brooks for a moment. That's the problem. Olivia Brooks' lips trembled slightly. I made a mistake. I didn't respond. Olivia Brooks stepped closer. Give me another chance. I'll fix everything. I exhaled slowly. You can't fix something you chose to break. Olivia Brooks' voice cracked. I didn't understand what I was losing. I held Olivia Brooks' gaze steady and clear. You didn't try to understand. Olivia Brooks reached out slightly, then stopped. Jason, please? I shook my head. No, Olivia Brooks froze. Tears filled Olivia Brooks' eyes, but they didn't change anything. Why? Olivia Brooks whispered. I answered calmly. Because Jason Carter finally chose Jason Carter. Olivia Brooks didn't have anything left after that. The regret was real now, but it came too late. Daniel didn't speak immediately either. Daniel Brooks stood a few steps away, the confidence gone completely. When Daniel finally stepped forward, it wasn't with arrogance anymore, it was with something closer to defeat. So this is who you really are, Daniel Brooks said quietly. I nodded once. Yes. Daniel let out a slow breath. I underestimated you. I tilted my head slightly. You ignored what was right in front of you. Daniel gave a small, bitter smile. And now it's too late. I didn't respond. Daniel looked around at everything falling apart, then back at me. You win. I shook my head slowly. This was never about winning. Daniel frowned slightly. Then what was it about? I answered without hesitation. Respect. Daniel looked at me for a long moment, then nodded once. I see that now. The silence between us wasn't tense anymore. It was final. Daniel stepped back, accepting what couldn't be changed. I didn't stay longer than I needed to. I didn't celebrate. I didn't prove anything. I just turned and walked away, the same calm steps I had been taking since everything started shifting. Emily was waiting outside, leaning slightly against the railing, watching me with a soft smile. "So, that just happened," Emily Carter said. I stopped in front of Emily Carter. "Yeah." Emily Carter studied me for a moment. "How do you feel?" I thought about it briefly. "Free." Emily Carter smiled a little more. "That suits Jason Carter." I let out a quiet breath. "I didn't lose anything today." Emily Carter nodded. "Jason Carter gained everything." I looked ahead, then back at Emily Carter. "Ready?" Emily Carter stepped beside me without hesitation. "Always." We started walking forward together, leaving everything behind without looking back. No anger. No regret. Just a clear path ahead. For the first time, I wasn't trying to prove my worth to anyone. I already knew it, and that was enough.